Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you again for the next video, and sorry for the delay for this next video. This is an album review for the next Marathon Studio album review for Smash Mouth's discography, which is for their second album, Astro Lounge, which has the very popular song All Star in this album, I meant to say. So, I'm going to discuss what I listened to for 15 songs for this Astro Lounge album and let you know my thoughts on this album as a whole for their 1999 album. So, technically, this is going to be about 25 years old next year, if I'm being honest. So, it's kind of old now, but I still will discuss what I think of this album overall. So let's dive into this album review. Sorry about the background noise. My nephew, I don't know, he's just in a mood swing today. So, Who's There was actually a pretty great song to open the album. I like Steve Harwell's vocals in it, and the mixing in it sounds really good with the guitars and drum work, and just the overall melody sounded pretty interesting, and I was very invested in this song as the opening track to open the album. So really enjoyed the intro track. So 5 out of 5 for Who's There. I really dug this track. It sounded really good, mixing wise. So Digging Your Scene was pretty good. Wasn't sure if I was gonna like it at first, but it is something that did grow on me for the second song on the album. So I'd give this a 5 out of 5 too. I really like this song too, and the chorus is pretty much the highlight to the song. Um, Highlight for the song, I meant to say. I Just Want to See is a pretty good track. Some pretty chill vibes for this album, and pretty much to lay back and relax kind of album. So, really dug this song too. The melody sounded really good. The mixing for it was pretty on point, and I really like Steve's vocals in it, so 5 out of 5. Waste was a pretty good one. Definitely was vibing to this song because of the melody. Sounded really mellow pace, but it worked and executed in the best way possible. So Steve Harwell's vocals is still pretty good in this song, which, like I said, may he rest in peace. He will be missed because it's been about a week now since his passing, and I wanted to review their discography to give you my full take on this band. So 5 out of 5. Then comes the most popular song they've made, which was All Star. This was part of the Shrek film, and the music video was pretty dope and weird at times, but I think basically the track was pretty amazing, and I think they went out of their comfort zone to try experimenting with the track with Steve's raps in it, and just the verses are pretty amazing, and just when the chorus comes in, it just makes you want to sing along to it and just do the crazy dance or whatever. I don't fucking know. It's just a fun song and entertaining track, so 5 out of 5. One of my favorite songs by Smash Mouth. Satellite was pretty good. Wasn't sure if I was gonna like it at first, but it did catch on as I progressed through the track. I started really digging it, so I'd give this a 5 out of 5 too. Really digging this track. Radio was pretty catchy. Just the way Steve's sounding in this album, his vocals are sounding pretty good, and he's just vibing. Like, this album's a bop, mostly. It has its pretty strong points. So I'd give Radio a 5 out of 5. I really enjoyed this track and liked the drum work in it, and most of the melody sounded really good, and Steve's vocals were pretty well done with how he was singing it, so 5 out of 5. Stoned was a pretty good track. It did feel a little vibe-ish in a way, but I did like how it was sounding overall, so I'd give this a 5 out of 5, meaning it just something to vibe to and just chillax to. Some of the lyrics have its quirky moments, but I think they made it work in the best way possible. Sorry about my yawning. They made it work in the best way possible with the execution of the track and how it performed. 5 out of 5. Then The Morning Comes was pretty good. I think this was they made a music video for this and it was a single too. But I really enjoyed this song. It was a really good track, so 5 out of 5. Then comes Roadman, and the way they sing it, like they're Jamaican or whatever, that was the throw off-ish moment with the song. But I think mixing wise, it did pretty well. It's a good track. I just don't know how I feel about Steve singing in kind of Jamaican and reggae-ish in this song, The Roadman, or something like that. It kind of made me feel it was just iffy of a track, so 4.5 out of 5. Don't hate it, it's good with the mixing and production, but my biggest gripe with the song is how Steve's singing the track at times. I mean, it's a fun song to really bop to, but I don't know. For 2 minutes and 32 seconds, I was slightly entertained, but not 100% entertained. So 4.5 out of 5. Fallen Horses is a pretty solid track. I wouldn't say my favorite, but it performed alright. So I think some of the mixing was a little off at times, but I think they tried to make it work in the best way possible. So 4.5 out of 5. Defeat You was a pretty strong track. I will say this, Fallen Horses did have, I think the good part about the song was mostly the vocals. The iffy part was kind of the melody. I mean, it sounded alright, but it wasn't great mixing in the song. But yeah, going back to the song I was originally talking about, Defeat You is a pretty strong track. Really like Steve's vocals in it, and I like how the melody sounding and the drum work and guitar work is doing very well over me with how it's mixed and all that. 5 out of 5. Come On is a solid one. Not sure if I like it. I think it's a good track, but one of my least favorites. So 4.5 out of 5. Then comes Home, and they try another reggae style, which this is where I thought this album was going to get a good 10 out of 10. But then when I hear towards the end of the album, I'm like, it's 75% pretty strong. But then the rest is hit or miss. So Home has another reggae kind of vibe with how Steve is singing it in a slight Jamaican way or whatever. It's just the Jamaican vocals he's trying out. They're experimenting, but in this kind of sense, I don't know if it works, because they're kind of repeating what they did with Roadman, and it just, I don't know. 4.5 out of 5. Then comes Can't Get Enough of You, Baby. Pretty solid track to close the album, in my opinion. Wouldn't say it's my least favorite, but it's solid. Good in its own way, just has its hits and misses with certain melody points in the track, but it's not a long song. It's like 2.5 minutes, so you're not in for a long track, so 4.5 out of 5. Overall, production, mixing, and execution-wise, I think Astro Lounge was a pretty good album. I think it was better than the debut, in my opinion. I wouldn't say everything was great with this. Sorry, I'm petting my sister's cat. If you're wondering why those ears are perked up on the video. Yeah, I wouldn't say everything is great with Astro Lounge, but I would say it's a pretty good album for their sophomore album. It's pretty good in its own way. So, if I were to give this album a score, I'm going to give Smash Mouth Astro Lounge an 8.5 out of 10. I really did enjoy this album. The first 9 songs plus Defeat You, I would say 10 songs were really strong on this album, and 5 of them were kind of the least favorites, which was Roadman, Fallen Horses, Come On, Home, and Can't Get Enough of You, Baby. Those were kind of the slight hiccups with the album, meaning they did alright, but they weren't great, but they still brought the rating down a bit. The other 10 were pretty outstanding, so 8.5 out of 10 for Smash Mouth Astro Lounge. May Steve Harwell rest in peace, because I know it's been a week since he's passed, and he will be missed. He was very talented of a singer and songwriter, and he did very well with the band. So, with that being said, guys, thank you for watching this album review.